Hey y'all, the unapologetic Marine here. I just wanted to get on and talk about this cattle death. And they're saying it was Ulysses, Kansas. And they're saying that it was heat that killed it. And that degrees exceeded the 100 mark on June 11th. And June 13th, it was reported 104 degrees with humidity levels ranging from 18 to 35%. And then June 14th, just a few days prior, the highs were in the 80s. All right. So that's what the article that I was reading. And this article, I believe it's from a Kansas newspaper. Let me see. I don't know. It's on the internet. I can't bring it up. I'm not that sophisticated enough yet with these videos to be able to show you guys things. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it. So let's just go over that. Remember those numbers said exceeded the 100 mark, right? So here in Kansas, I live in Kansas. And Kansas gets 100 degrees or above. It really does, right? So they're saying that it exceeded the 100-degree mark, right? So let's just think about this for a minute. So on June 11th in Ulysses, Kansas, where they're saying this happened, in Ulysses, Kansas, on the Weather Channel says that the temperature was a high of 100 and low of 70. June 12th, it was 102 high, 72 low. 13th, 102 high, 75 low. The 14th was 96 with the low of 59. And then today, they're saying today, June 15th, today is, what are they calling? It's like 80 something, I think. Right? And they're calling for 103 tomorrow. This is in Ulysses, Kansas. Right? Ulysses, Kansas. So let's look at the map. Y'all can bring this up and you can tell me what you think about this. So Ulysses, Kansas is not northwest Kansas. Ulysses, Kansas is southwest Kansas. Now, Dodge City is just east of Ulysses, Kansas. In Dodge City, they have a meat processor, a beef processor, one of the biggest ones in the country in Dodge City. Think about that. Think about that. We need to watch that meat processor, right? We need to watch it. So they're saying that 10,000 cattle died because of heat related issues, right? So we'll just call it heat stroke that they died from. I'm no professional. I'm not saying it was heat stroke, but heat related issues, we'll call it that. So, heat related issues, right? In 100-degree weather. Not heard of here in Kansas, especially southwest Kansas, because southwest Kansas, you're down there by Oklahoma and Texas, right? So there's that little sliver of Oklahoma down there, and then right from there you get down into Texas, like Stanford, Texas, and then you're looking at Guymon, Oklahoma. Now those are south. of Ulysses, Kansas. I'd say a few miles, 100 miles or so, right? And so you're thinking 100-degree weather. Yes, it snows here in Kansas, but it's not like the Rocky Mountains, right? It's not like Alaska where 100-degree weather is absolutely unheard of. It can get, like, I think I've seen it 108 before, 109. So yeah, so you know, it was it was warm. It was warm, right? So let's take a look at the Kansas Free Press. So it says 10,000 cattle, right? 10,000 cattle died. They're saying, and they're saying that they're saying that the cattle accumulate heat during the day, and then over nighttime hours, it can take 4 to 6 hours for them to dissipate that heat, right? And as long as they're cooling off effect at night, cattle can mostly handle the heat. And then it says where they run into issues is where we have 2 to 4 days in a row of minimal nighttime cooling, and we start the day in the heat load, right? So what this article is saying is that if the cattle can't cool off at night, then they're going to get heat stroke. 10,000 of them, right? 10,000 of them. So let's look back at it, right? June 11th, 100 degrees, the high, 70 the low. Now, these are already numbers. This isn't prediction. This is in this is in the history. Like, these are the numbers that they are saying that happened. The Weather Channel is saying that these were the temperatures in Ulysses, Kansas, right? Now, where they're getting these temperatures from, typically don't know. You know, it might not be out in the field where the cattle are, right? But just think of these numbers. Just think of this for a minute. 100 degrees the high, 70 the low. I'm pretty sure they could cool off by then. 72 on the 12th, June 12th, 2020 or 2022. I wish it was 2020. 2022, right? June 12th, it was a high of 102 and a low of 72. June 13th, 2022, a high of 102, a low of 75. June 14th, a high of 96 and a low of 59. Now, I didn't say in there exactly what day, right, they found these cattle. Exactly what day. Like, I wasn't looking for that. What I'm focusing on is the bullshit in their temperatures. And these aren't cattle like, I'm pretty sure these cattle didn't come from like Canada where where it's a lot cooler. And then they just brought them down here and they're like, good luck at the the southwest border of Kansas down by Oklahoma. You know, they didn't say that. And then it's saying this other article that I'm looking at right now is saying the Kansas Department of Health and Environment knew of at least 2,000 cattle deaths due to high temperatures and humidity as of Tuesday. That's what Matthew Laura said. Matthew Laura. Yes. So now my computer's doing some craziness right now. Oh, there it just came back. Like the article that I was just reading just went like it had an ad covering the whole article that I couldn't see. Right? So the Kansas Department of Health and Environment knew of at least 2,000 cattle deaths due to high temperatures as of Tuesday. Tuesday. Let's look back at Tuesday. What day was Tuesday? That was just yesterday on the 14th and 96. So let's go back. Let's just go back a week prior, right? So we started on the 11th. I started talking about the 11th. So we'll talk about the 4th, June 4th. The high was 91 and the low 61. June 5th, 85.61. The 6th, 93.59 with there's a thunderstorm. It had rain. June 7th, or the start of a thunderstorm. June 7th was 84 and 58 with rain. June 8th, 79 and 59. June 9th, 85 and 54. June 10th, 91 and 63. Do those numbers like seem legit? I know that you know people are gonna be like, oh yeah, those numbers seem totally legit, but it really doesn't. Put this into perspective. Ulysses, Kansas is right there by Dodge City. All right, I'll let you know how far it is from there. Right, so it's right there by Dodge City, and done this stupid crap. All right. So it's probably we'll say 100 miles, give or take, right? And with gas prices the way that they are, and Dodge City is a huge beef processor here in Kansas. And because everybody's catching on to these beef and these food processors burning down. So now they're like, oh shit, we need to kill some cattle. I didn't know we're at Skinwalker Ranch here, where cattle just mysteriously die all of a sudden of mysterious causes. So if anybody watches Yellowstone, the TV show Yellowstone, where I'm sure a lot of you do, and in one of the seasons, I think it was one of the first season, I don't know, first season somewhere episode where the bad guys gave the cattle clover, right? And then because some about the clover, the cattle couldn't process it and they bloated and then they died, right? So, maybe they got some bad. Somebody flew over and dropped down some clover, and then the cattle died. I mean, just think about it. I mean, you can't take that off the table. You can't take that off the table. You absolutely can't. So that's a little food for thought on this cattle thing. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. This is the unapologetic Marine out, and even though I'm talking about dad stuff, I'm talking about current events too, because there's some shady shit going on, and everybody needs to realize it. Yeah, and that's my vacuum, that blue handle. I forgot to take it out before I shot this video. Well, fuck it. Y'all know this shit is raw and this shit is real. So, Godspeed, Stay frosty. Unapologetic Marine out.